Hi, I'm R.J. Laverne with the Davey Tree Expert Company. Welcome to this edition of Talking Trees. Today we're talking specifically about the benefits that healthy landscape trees provide to us humans. I like to think of the benefits as economic, environmental, and social. And we'll see that there's some pretty surprising social benefits of having healthy trees. But let's talk economics first. Most people appreciate landscape trees simply because of their beauty. And that translates into higher real estate value. We can imagine that if this property were for sale, with all of these trees and the beautiful landscaping that goes with it, this property would sell for more money. It's a direct financial benefit that we have. But then there's some other financial benefits as well. The trees provide shade to the building, and the shade helps keep the building cool in the summertime. That results in lower electric bills. Not only that, but the electric usage drops, and at the same time, we need less electricity at the power plant, so it results in fewer emissions, and that's a good thing as well. So here we are next to the building and next to the air conditioning units. We talked about the economic value of having trees provide shade, and that reduces the amount of electricity needed to help keep the building cool. But as I mentioned, there's environmental benefits that are connected to that as well. The less we run the air conditioner, the less electricity we need, the fewer the emissions that we have at the power plant to generate electricity. And that's good for air quality. Speaking of air quality, one of the most important benefits from an environmental standpoint that we get from trees is that they produce oxygen. And that's exactly what we need to breathe. And they absorb carbon. And as we know, an excess of carbon in the atmosphere is leading to global climate change. And then we can think of the environmental benefits associated with water. When the rain comes down, trees help to slow down the rain, and it gets incorporated into the soil. If we simply had pavement instead of trees, all of that water would run off into the sewers, and we'd have a higher incidence of flooding, especially for communities around streams. And then there's the soil itself. Tree roots help to keep the soil in place and reduce soil erosion. That's very important, especially on slopes. And that improves soil water quality as well by reducing the amount of erosion that goes into the streams. So we've covered the economic benefits of healthy landscape trees, and we've explored some of the environmental benefits as well. Now let's take a look at this class of social benefits of landscape trees. Now let's start with something very simple. Here we've got a parking lot, and it's not surprising that in the summertime, the first parking spaces that are filled are those that are underneath the shade of these magnificent trees. It just helps keep things more comfortable. But it goes beyond that. If we have trees that shade parking lots and other buildings and roads, it reduces the heat that builds up in cities. That's called the urban heat island. And when you get a lot of heat in the city, you have more ozone pollution and you have more illnesses associated with heat. So the more that we can use trees to help keep cities cool and reduce urban heat islands, the better off we'll be from a standpoint of reducing respiratory illness and reducing those problems associated with heat. So indeed, the trees in our urban areas and our urban forests are truly valuable from an economic, an environmental, and a social standpoint. But there's one more thing. Think of a special tree that was in your life when you were growing up. Maybe somebody got married underneath the spreading branches of a beautiful tree. Maybe one of your loved ones is buried in a cemetery that has lots of beautiful trees to help reduce the noise and just enhance the experience of being there. Trees in our yards and around our houses truly make our lives better. They make history from a family standpoint more rich, and our children will remember us by the trees that we plant. So trees really are magnificent, and if we keep them healthy, we can enjoy the environmental, the economic, and these amazing social benefits having trees in our cities. I'm R.J. Laverne with the Davey Tree Expert Company, and thanks for joining us on Talking Trees. See you next time.